At Piedmont, we know that a breast cancer diagnosis is one of the most overwhelming things you can hear. From the moment you walk in the door, we're committed to providing you with complete breast cancer care. Piedmont is the first and only healthcare system in Georgia to qualify as a certified member of MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, a leading cancer care provider. And with locations in Noonan, Fayette, and Henry, expert care is closer than ever. Learn more at piedmont.org/breastsouth.
Hi, you guys. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. I know you don't have to tell me you are wonderful. You having an awesome, amazing time in your life right now. I know it may be morning, it may be afternoon, it may even be nighttime, whenever you're listening live or you're listening to the archive. You know, the reason I say that is because the things that we go through in life, we may say we're in a bad situation. We may say we're in a pit. We may say we're on top of the world. Whatever the case may be, we're in our purpose. And people say, Dr. Sunday, don't say that. We are not in. Yes, you are. You are in your purpose because you will have ups and downs. You will have things going on in your life. And that's part of your purpose. We have to learn from the things we don't think is nice. We have to learn from them because guess what? It builds our character. I know we hear that all the time. We don't like hearing that when we're going through it, though, right? Okay. Excuse me. We don't like hearing that, but let me tell you, we actually have to go through things in life. And I know it hurts sometimes because I know when I go through it, it hurts. But you know what? I look back and I'm glad that I have gleaned from that information that I learned, that I actually can help somebody else. And guess what? Also, it actually helped me too. We don't want to admit that. But what we do here at Good Deeds, we help people shine their light to the world. And what that is by shining your light, what that means, your light is your dreams, your goals, your purpose, and your passions, your destiny, the reason you were actually born. That's what we actually help you share that information, share your message with the world. And I'm your host, Dr. Renee Sunday, and I am the platform builder. So that's what I do. I help people identify their purpose if they don't know it, but when we identify that purpose, we help them build a platform. And that's in, that's in ministry. That's actually in your business. It all works hand in hand because the things you do in your ministry, you do that in your purpose because they all go hand in hand, right? I love it. But quickly, I need to answer the question, ask Dr. Renee question of the week. And the question is kind of interesting. And people be thinking I'd be making this stuff together, but God always put it where it needs to be. The person wanted to ask, they know I'm from the South, but they asked one of our international people that listen to us, and they wanted to know, they said, Dr. Sunday, you're just so funny, but we love your Southern twang. And I didn't take it, when I go to New York, people just want me to talk, and I love that. But they wanted to know, with me being from Birmingham, Alabama, Roll Tide, I got to say that, right? Amen. But what did my parents instill in me that actually have built my character, and I gleaned from that in my life right now. And I thought that was very interesting. But I'm going to answer that just real quickly. I think one thing that my parents, I can't really say one, but I'll keep it short to three short things. One, of course, they put God in me. They gave me that godly foundation. I went to church at an early age. Everybody have their testimony, amen? But the thing is, I always stayed to the roots of being real in a Christian environment. Number two, I always know I have to work for things. I always saw my parents work. I didn't see them have get a helping hand, if you will. They always work for what they next year. Instilled in me that I work very hard, sometimes too hard. My team tells me, slow down, rest. But sometimes, I do that. I'm very hard on myself. I'm a type A kind of girl, and that's good in anesthesia, somebody putting you to sleep. But I had to learn that balance. I had to learn that as I got into the different things that God has entrusted me. But the last thing that I've really learned from my parents is having healthy relationships. I have a healthy relationship with my parents. Now, since I'm, adult, I still reverence them. I still respect them. But actually, at this stage in their life, we, be honest, we're taking care of them because they did so much sacrifices for us. And I can speak into their life actually as their daughter and also as being a member of the fivefold ministry. And they respect that, and that's very important. But the other thing, my sister, my brother passed away about 5 years ago, but my sister is, oh, my God, she pushes me. Let me just say, because she loves the things that I do, that God has entrusted me to do, and she pushes me and she encouraged me. So our relationship as a sibling is amazing. It actually got closer, actually, when my brother passed. And then the relationships that I have with my I don't call them my clients, they my family, the people that have that's in my inner circle that push me and the things I do. So the most important thing I of all things, like I said, God foundation, that I work, I don't look for a handout. And the last thing is healthy relationships. And lo and behold, guess what we're talking about today? We're talking about one of the major relationships that we have in the world today. We actually have the amazing couple we're going to talk about marriage. Yes, that is very important, marriage. It's a covenant relationship. It's a give and take relationship. It's actually things, I'm learning because, I'm single, so I'm going to be listening. But they are authors. They marriage mentors, and they also counsel. And I just found out they from my neck of the woods. So we actually got a bond that would not be taken away. But we want to welcome them because we want to get this information. I have my pen and paper ready. I know you have it as well. But we want to welcome none other than Ed and Sharit Gray to Good Deeds. Are you there?
We're here. How are you?
We're here. Now, I'm going to have to start off. They even talk in unison, so that's what I'm talking about, okay?
Got to keep it together.
Oh, I love it. Now, we're going to want to tarry. We don't want to tarry. Please tell us, whoever wants to speak, just a little bit more about yourself. And then we're going to dive deep into this because we know marriages, marriage is a covenant and marriage is a give and take. Well, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. Well, as you said, we are Ed and Sharita Gray, and our story is really interesting. She's from Oregon, and like you said, we're from Alabama. I'm from Alabama, and we're just two people who refuse to let divorce intrude in our marriage, and we want to have a great marriage, and we want to help others figure out how to be married, which is why our book is titled I Do, but How Do I? We realized that so many people didn't know how to be married, and we just wanted to help others realize how to do it.
Wow, I love it. Well, let's dive deep into that and talk a little bit more about that. And I guess this is a great leadway because we had some questions to come in. And so I said, let's step back a minute because we have to be real. What the kids say, y'all millennials, y'all know this terminology. Keep it 100. Why do you think that marriages are so much under attack? I mean, if we look at the statistics, I mean, it doesn't look good. Let's just be real that marriage, it's hard to find someone really happily married. So tell us about that because we need to kind of know if we can find out what some of the root problems that, stemmed in marriage.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll start off. Well, marriage is under attack basically for what it represents, and it represents Christ and his bride, which is the church. And so right there you already have a problem because, of course, Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And, he always causes division. So anytime that there's unity, you're always going to be under attack from him as far as that goes. And number two, it doesn't really matter if you're a believer or not. If you're married, the fact that there's two people trying to coexist, there's going to be tension and miscommunication and anything that will seek to divide us. And the other thing is how we view marriage, which is through the eyes of what we see on TV versus what we should be viewing it through, which is how Christ set it up, how God set it up in the beginning, that we should always, work things out, and that divorce should be our very last option, not the first choice.
Wow. What you want to chime in, Sharita? Because the thing about it, we ladies, men, I know, but these ladies, we got to get this thing right.
Oh, can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
No, we just want to know from a lady's standpoint, why do you think we're so under attack for marriage? Your husband Ed did a great job on what he said, and that's really it. But, we ladies, we think kind of, different sometimes. Any input that you think that ladies may be thinking specifically why marriages are under attack?
I believe people are just following what they see on TV, and we live in a world where now today, a lot of people are trying to get everything quick and fast, and even technology, everything is so easy to access. And I think people have to remember that marriage is always under construction, always. You should always be working on it, building on it until you guys die off the earth, you know what I mean? And I just think that it's difficult to think that way when you have so much going on around you that is the exact opposite. So,
yeah, I totally agree with that. I think we as ladies, the reason I wanted to separate that, because I'll be honest, I'm being, y'all, I'll be transparent. Some of my friends, even to this day, think that I have a fantasy of what marriage should be. And I listen to so many married people to try to get that out of my system, just like Ed said in the beginning, it's two people coming together if you're in the body of Christ or not. So I try to not, but I grew up that way, seeing the fairy tales of what marriage. And to be honest, and my parents are listening now, I never heard my parents fuss. I never heard them disagree. And I know we grew up in poverty, but I never heard them say disagree when it comes to money. So actually, I've heard some scholars even say it's good to let your kids know that things are not going right. I don't know. I'm not a parent and I'm not married, so I can't chime in on that. But let's continue with this. With you guys being mentors and counselors, tell us a little bit of how that came about in your own marriage that you wanted to reach out to actually help others.
Well, I'm back. Got stuck with me again. No, actually, we both had friends and family coming to us individually, just asking us, for help with their marriages or just for advice. And it started off as just us, being friendly and answering questions to, friends and family of what we believe and what we practice in our own marriage and helping those marriages. And we started seeing success, but we also noticed that there was a common problem. Again, going back to, most people don't hate each other. They aren't fighting really over money. They aren't fighting really over, who did, what. The problem was people simply just did not know how to be married. Everybody gets married and just assumes that marriage is going to work out, again, based on what they've seen on TV, but what's been placated, across the media is that every day is either going to be, extremely happy or the exact opposite of everything is going to be, miserable. And it's a delicate balance. And we just, in our book, we just explain, within detail of, how to balance, all of the aspects of marriage. So, but.
I know that's hard. But let me ask you, with your mentor and your counseling, and that now I'm single asking this question, but unfortunately, I've heard people say, what are your thoughts of counseling? When you do counseling, should it be, for example, Sharita doing counseling with the wife separately, or you doing it separately with the husband, or should marriage counseling be a couple together? What's your thoughts on that?
I'll let Sharita handle this one.
I believe it depends on the circumstance. Depending on if there's something that they both may be struggling with at one time. Maybe they may have felt like they fell out of love with each other. That just depends. Sometimes the woman or the wife needs some advice, or she may need help in a particular area so that she can, I wouldn't say win over her husband, but maybe she's, falling back in some areas and she wants to get back to where she, where things used to be. And there's sometimes the womanly advice that can be given out as well as the manly advice from the guy's standpoint, from the male, from my husband or myself. I don't agree with the opposite. I wouldn't meet with the guy unless it had, depending on what it is, I think it's meant to come from a man's standpoint. If a man is having an issue with something, I think it's a little out of order sometimes, where, if a guy has an issue, I think he should go to a guy about it, with his wife at least.
Now, you open up a can of worms now, because I actually have heard this as well, that, and I'm going to have to bring, situations in. And ladies and gentlemen, we know this is not what you're going through, but this is a generic kind of conversation, because you got to contact Ed and Sharita for your individual situation that you have going on. But let's say, for example, if it was an infidelity situation and it was on the man part, I've heard people say that it needs to be a male being the counselor instead of a lady, because ladies always take ladies' side and da-da-da-da-da. And then just with stuff like that if a situation, we'll just say a situation happened on one of the persons, not a situation that both of them have fell out of love, they've been together so long. But if something happened and it was just on one side, we'll just say male, or on the wife's side or the husband's side, what's your thoughts on that? Because I've heard that myself.
I agree. I've heard that as well. Infidelity, if a man comes to me, with an issue with infidelity, I'm going to give him a wife's response, a woman's response, because I'm going to sympathize with the woman based on what may have occurred. And so I'm gonna sympathize with her, and I'm going to give him a reaction from that side. I'd rather it be, more on a level-headed answer from a male's perspective, especially maybe a male has gone through something that my husband may have gone through. He's the best for that advice.
I want to chime in on that one as well. I agree with Sharita, but I also think that even if it is one person, one-sided, of infidelity, I still believe that one person, or that both, should come in, for counseling or advice, or whatever word you want to use there, because usually you have to get to the root of the problem. He or she may have, been the person that was, the person that was committed infidelity, but you also have to get to the root of the problem and just check and see if maybe there was some underlying reason, what was the other spouse doing or not doing that may have played a part in it. We're quick to point the finger at, the person who, did the cheating or whatever, and that's understandable. But usually, you have to also, check the other spouse and see what happens, from their end that maybe could have been done better.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with that. But let me ask you this, because I know we, ladies and gentlemen, we went kind of on not so good right then. But let's go back, because I've actually heard my mom say this, and she's gonna be like, "Why do you keep saying my name?" But that's my, the person that I glean from information, especially when it comes to marriage. She's always said that the first year, the third year, the fifth year, the seventh year are the most difficult times in marriage. She said if you really can get by the seventh year, you pretty much almost kind of got it going. I'm talking for somebody that's my mom's gender, so we, age bracket. So I'm gonna, she's gonna be mad. I'm gonna say how old, but she's in her 70s. But then let me switch. I've heard people about my age and millennials say, if they get mad with somebody in 24 hours, they do the annulment. So it's a big difference in the gender. But talk about that. What do you think about those people when, in my mom's generation, of course, have said those certain years are the ones that actually you have to make sure you clean together more closer.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess my opinion on the matter is that I don't necessarily agree with the fact that it's 1, 3, 5, 30 or whatever, because what you'll see now, especially in today's generation, is that you'll see couples who did make it past the 1 year, the 3 year, 5, 7, and they're on 20, 25 years and they're getting a divorce. I think we have to, again, get to the root of what was happening, and we have to be honest with ourselves and stop sweeping every incident under the rug. I think we do a lot of that, in our very early years, and it becomes a habit amongst the couples. And so when things really do happen, or the children leave, or a very serious scenario happens, then there's no real grounding or foundation to stand on when something really, really difficult happens. So, and it doesn't matter if it happens in the first year or the 100th year. If no one dealt with the things that would stabilize the marriage in the very beginning, then it's difficult for it to have anything to stand on in any year. So.
Mhm. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. If it back then again, my mom and dad, they married. I mean, some people. Well, people marry just in general. People marry for love, marry for convenience, whatever reason that they marry for. It comes out with time. But what advice do you have? And I'm gonna just put myself out there with somebody in my case that has never been married, but gonna be married, soon. But I've lived pretty much my adult life. Not being married. And I guess you can contrast that with somebody that has been married before and they do want to get back in the game again. I mean, that's two different peas in a pod, I guess you say, right?
Yeah. So let me make sure that you're asking the question right, or asking the question the way that I can understand it. You're asking about, the difference between someone who's been married before, I guess, and, hasn't been married for a while, and then someone who's never been married, right?
Yeah, because I know there's a big difference.
Well, I think it's regardless, whether you've been married, excuse me, or not married, understanding that how you start off often details how you're going to end up. It doesn't necessarily always mean that, if you start off bad, that you're going to end up bad, but usually that's an indicator. How you start off, just about anything is going to determine, like, the end results. So one thing that Sharit and I did was make sure that we understood each other's core values about one another, and we believe that has helped us tremendously, especially during difficult times, and whether it was, being married before or not being married at all, the scenarios are similar and basically the same.
Okay. Well, you just relieved me because I really thought that since I had never been married, that was a whole different situation with somebody being, because people that's been married before, they know what to do and not to do. If they realize that's the key. If they realize it, versus somebody that have never been married, they so dependent on doing things independent, I guess. They've been doing things so much on their own.
Right. Well, if people pay attention, if they've been married before, if they pay attention to the things that they got wrong or did right and can implement those things into the current marriage, then that will greatly help. But if someone was married and they didn't understand what they did wrong, or they think that everything that they did was right, when if you ask the other spouse if everything that they did was right, is then their answer probably would be the opposite. I know I was married before, and I learned a lot of things that I did wrong. So to answer that question, you can be better in the end. And Sharita had never been married, so that's kind of exactly what you're asking. So I think that, again, it's how you start off and the grounding that you guys set up in the very beginning stages that'll truly determine, your end result.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I'm so glad that you guys have really penned a manual that we can actually go by, because, you can say I do, but how? I mean, and the people, and let's just be real, in medical school, most of the books that we've read in psychology was written by people that have never been married. Yes, I hate to say that, but that's the truth. A lot of the books for marriage, people have never been married. They just going, from their experience, from hearing from other people. And I think experience, especially in marriage, is very important. But let me ask you this: are you taking clients? And if you are, we talked briefly about that. How is that kind of set up? Do you do that via phone, or if they're in the local area? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we want to help anyone that's out there that needs help, people who want help. It's nothing really formal. It's just something that we do on I wouldn't say a case-by-case basis, but if someone is, needing help, our goal is to help them. We just want to make sure we're there and make ourselves available for them.
The other thing is that
I love it.
I guess the other thing too is that if someone does desire help, the one thing that we do ask is that that you please be honest. Be honest with yourself, be honest with us, and be honest with your spouse. It doesn't help anyone if you're in denial. So that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I've kind of been around some couples that and I'm going to just say it, I've been dancing around it, but a lot of, in our culture, Afro-Americans, we tend, the old days, people say that, they didn't go, whatever happened in the house, stay in the house, that kind of thing. And what we need to do is let people know that mentoring, and I love you say that word, mentoring and counselor, that it's okay to talk about things. It's okay to have someone, and this is the key, no one that actually has a judgment, I guess that might be a good word, but someone that can take sides. That may be a better way of saying that. And so we truly appreciate that you do that, because marriages are having a tough time, and believers and non-believers, you have to, get that, let somebody hear what you have to say. Now, someone just sent a question in, 2 questions.
Okay.
One question is, we hear a lot about people nowadays talking about a date night. Are you guys in favor of the date night? What are your views on that?
Absolutely. That's a necessity. That's something that needs to happen to keep things fresh, to keep everyone, everybody still, you want to keep everything like it used to be when you guys first started off. People to lose that along the way. And I think that's just something that they need to always do. Whether they can set a time, a date for it, put on the calendar, it's just as simple as that. But it's something to keep things fresh, keep things, spontaneous, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important.
Oh, I love it. And then also, I'm laughing because this is a millennial, we know, of course, right? But my age, we doing it too, I guess. What's your views on online dating? They asked that question.
Okay, that's a great question. Because believe it or not, Sharit and I met online. But it wasn't on an online.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was not. We met back when MySpace was popular, and reconnected when Facebook kind of got going pretty well. But the thing about online dating is, just as in any scenario, you have to be careful, be safe, make sure that the person is exactly who they say they are. If you haven't met them, if you're going to meet them, make sure that you're meeting in public places. Get as much. We have FaceTime, and we have all of these different features on our phones to make sure that someone is who they are, so that we don't do like the MTV shows says and get catfished. It's a funny scenario between me and Sharita. When we first met, like physically, we had seen pictures and FaceTimed and everything. But when we first physically met, I told her before her plane landed, I said, if you turn up and you're a man, I'm gonna punch you in the face. But thank God the other funny thing is, I'll tell you this. I don't want to hold your time, but there actually was a guy walking in my direction at the airport, and I was just like, this better not be who I think it is. But thank God it wasn't. It was my beauty, my baby, my love. So.
Oh, I love it. That's right. Woo, I love it. Well, so she was scared to say that question. See, that it worked out. You gotta be safe. I actually have a real good friend that's on my team. She met her husband in MySpace as well, and they've been married. Oh my God, I think they've been married almost. Her son is 12 for at least for 12 years. So yeah, amen. But you know what? I just love your guys' spirit. I just love it. I want you to have the floor. If I missed anything that you really, of course, need to get out and let us know. But then after that, please let us know how we can actually get your awesome information about your book, and how we can actually connect with you on social media as well.
Okay. There's anything that we missed will be found in the book when it's available, and it should be available within the next coming months. We're in the final stages of the publication, so we would love the opportunity to come back and when it's released and do our release on your show. Interview with you again. We had a great time today. But everybody can find us on our website at ed-and-sharita, and you spell that ed-and-sharita.com, ed-and-sharita.com, and on all of your social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at ed-and-sharita. The only one that's different is the Twitter, and it's ed-and-sharita1.
Oh, one. No, I don't. Okay, I'm a. I love it. Wow. I just love it. They just so in sync with each other. It's just so amazing. Oh my God. Sharit, I love your spirit. She's just so humble, and you as well, Ed. I just thank you, first of all, for being in your purpose. I mean, marriage, we really need to nurture our marriages, and I thank you for taking that mantle of that. And of course, being a great example as well in the community. But we thank you so much for being a guest here in Good Deeds. And yes, you need to be back when you so we can but we're going to connect with you so we'll actually know, the listening audience will know when we actually can take advantage of that. But as of now, you guys still connect with them because they give a lot of tools and great posts on their blog posts, on their website, and, of course, still also on their social media. So thank you so much for being a guest here on Good Deeds.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
They ain't unicorns, Lord and Jesus. I love it. Woo! I'm just so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're going to want to see this one again, hear this one again. We're going to actually have it. The replay will be ready very shortly. It'll be on iTunes over there. On iTunes, yeah, we got our podcast on iTunes, and we're on YouTube as well. But please share this because we need to actually support them in the things we do. And I know we know someone that may need this information. We may need it ourselves. So we need to actually get ready, ladies that's single. We need to listen to what they have to say. And then also the people that's married. We need to keep it fresh. What Sharita said, her and Ed said keep it fresh. So we need to make sure we do that. Here at Good Deeds, if you need us for anything, advertising, sponsorship, we have retreats for women. We got men stuff coming too, okay? But we actually have events pretty often and fellowship. If you publishing a book, we have the publishing company. We have a marketing company. God has entrusted us with a lot of things, but the thing that we do is do it in the spirit of excellence. We want to let you know that, one, you have a reason that you are alive right now. You have a purpose. You have a goal. You have things that need to be birthed, okay? You have to do three things. You have to believe, you got to trust, and you got to walk it out. You have to what? Say it with me. Don't stop. You got to get it. See you next time. Wait a minute. My team said I didn't say the website. Oh, I'm sorry. But our website is www.reneesunday.com. That's www.renee, Sunday, SUNDAY.com. I love you guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.
At Piedmont, we know that a breast cancer diagnosis is one of the most overwhelming things you can hear. From the moment you walk in the door, we're committed to providing you with complete breast cancer care. Piedmont is the first and only healthcare system in Georgia to qualify as a certified member of MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, a leading cancer care provider. And with locations in Noonan, Fayette, and Henry, expert care is closer than ever. Learn more at piedmont.org/breastsouth. At Piedmont, we know that a breast cancer diagnosis is one of the most overwhelming things you can hear. From the moment you walk in the door, we're committed to providing you with complete breast cancer care. Piedmont is the first and only healthcare system in Georgia to qualify as a certified member of MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, a leading cancer care provider. And with locations in Noonan, Fayette, and Henry, expert care is closer than ever. Learn more at piedmont.org/breastsouth.